Okay, but I wanted to talk about the garden a little bit today because if you've been doing it for any amount of time, you've probably noticed that it kind of it kind of sucks. And so I'm just gonna walk through some of the tips that I've found and just kind of sort through everything.
Remember, it is absolutely vital that you...
For those of you that don't know, you need to be level 10 to unlock the nursery and open it up so you can even start gardening. Look at these trees. What is wrong with this one? So this will seem kind of like common sense, but you need to level up your character by completing raids to unlock the nursery in the first place. The sooner you can begin gardening, the better, since there is currently no way to speed up the process. The plants are going to take 3 full in-game and out-of-game days to grow, and you can't speed that up at all. You won't be able to craft NRS until you reach player level 20 and unlock the level 2 of the med bay, but you want to have some product going before then, so by the time you unlock that, you actually can do those things. But getting started on your garden ahead of time will ensure that you're ready to craft them by the time it's unlocked. For this tip, we're going to go to our handyman Merrick, who deals with bunker upgrades. Thank you, Merrick. And looking over here, Merrick can upgrade different aspects of the bunker. Some of them will give you more space in the bunker, but there are certain upgrades that you need to make the gardening process a little easier, and most of all, cheaper. Regarding the generator, that's going to increase your efficiency overall. So taking a look here, if you'll see the generator station, I already have level 2, so that's increased my efficiency. At level 23, I can increase that again. With your generator at level 1, a single tank of gas lasts for 12 hours. At level 2, a tank of gas lasts for 18 hours. And at level 3, 1 tank of gas lasts for 24 hours. So you can see how getting that leveled up is going to make the entire gas thing cheaper overall, and because you need gas for not only the garden but also the intel room. We're only focusing on the garden today though. Otherwise, your garden room itself, the nursery, has different things going on. So as you level up your garden room, level 2 is at 18. That will add a second planter, and then there's also the garden station utility. As you level up your utility, that increases the efficiency of the water. So the water will last longer, it'll water more plants. I'll probably drop on the screen or somewhere, maybe around like here, what the different efficiency hours are. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but just know that leveling up your garden station will make everything go faster and a little bit better. For this next tip, backpacks are your friends. You'll want to dedicate at least 1 backpack slot on your wall for the use of gardening. I tend to use both of these backpack slots right here, and I fill them up with water bottles, but 1 backpack will be enough to get the process going. It's just because I tend to get lazy and I will not refill all of my water, and so then I need extra. But 1 backpack, working back and forth and refilling, that'll be plenty. If you don't have Gear Tech backpacks, you can use a regular adventure backpack once you get to level 2. This is one of the Uwu backpacks, but if you happen to have Nuclear Knight, you start out with 2 Gear Tech backpacks at the beginning of each wipe, and you can just keep those and have them for your garden use, and so you're just ready to go from the very beginning. Moving around your bunker with water is going to be one of the most time-consuming parts of the gardening process, because if you don't have a backpack available, guess what you're doing? You're ferrying 1 water bottle in each hand back and forth, and it takes a lot of time to run all the way up with just 2 bottles of water. Like you can see here, even if you just have a regular adventure backpack, which is fairly easy to find in raid, even if you don't have one to start with, you'll see these normal water bottles, the blue ones, will fit. There's plenty of room to fit all of these water bottles. For this next tip, we're back in the Tabor market because we're talking about bunker resources. You're going to need a lot of gas and a lot of water filters to keep your nursery up and running, keeping this garden going. You're going to buy these from Jiri. He's the only place in the market that you can buy them. Now, there are various static spawns on the different maps where you can find gas cans. There's static spawns on Island, on Matka Miest, and there's even a new static spawn in Matka Underground in the old bunker, in the generator room. You can find gas in a lot of various places, so it's not that hard to come by, but it is fairly bulky. It's hard to fit gas tanks into your bags while looting other things. Water filters, however, are much harder to find. There are 0 static spawns in the game, and so there is no guaranteed place to find one. You just have to get lucky looting them out in the wild at loot boxes, so it can tend to get a little frustrating, which is why I highly recommend that you focus on buying water filters. About the bunker resources, there's a limited amount of them that you can buy at a time. Gas cans, you can buy up to 5 at a time on cooldown. Water filters, you can only buy 2 at a time. You should be buying water filters as soon as you load up into the game. Pop them on a favorite, buy them on cooldown so that you always have plenty of them around. You don't need to buy 5, but you should always have at least 1 backup gas can and 1 water filter on standby. The next tip is you want to move as much water around as you can at any given time and fill the filter 1 at a time, because the filter itself will sometimes glitch out if you're pouring multiple bottles of water into it at a time, and you will lose water. And you don't want to waste water because that's wasting resources, it's wasting your money, and it's wasting your time. There's no way around it. This is probably the most boring part of the process, but slowly filling up the water 1 bottle at a time. There's no tricks to this. Only the white water bottles make a spilling noise when you pour them out. The other bottles don't. I don't know why this is. As you approach the blue line to the top, you want to be very careful that you don't overfill the tank because you will waste water. It'll look like it's going in, but it's not. So as soon as you see that line stop moving, just like that, leave things as they are. If you've successfully filled the water tank in bulk, your floor probably looks something like this when you're done. This is exactly how you want it to look. That means that you're maximizing your time. Am I going to pick this up? No. I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to teleport out and come back, and then everything will be in the kiosk, saving me that much time. Have a good stock of water filters. This is a little excessive. You probably only need like 4 or 5 to keep up on stuff, but especially once you have your garden fully up and running and you're running 3 full planters, that's 39 plants, you're gonna go through a ton of water, and so having backup is gonna be important. You're gonna use a ton of them. Bonus tip. When you're filling your gas, just tip it, leave it. Move on. It will fill while you're doing other things. You may have seen some people online that say, oh, stack multiple cans of gas to dump all at once because it goes faster. I do not recommend doing this because you run the risk of the same thing with the water tank over in the nursery, that it might not register all the gas and you'll actually just be wasting your money. Try not to turn off your power when you are growing plants, because they will immediately start to die. So we moved some stuff around. I just want to point out to what these bottles look like right now, right? They're all on the ground, they're all fully empty. You can see empty, 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 nothing in any of them, right? Pay close attention to that because what's about to happen next is important. We saw all of those bottles, right? They were fully empty. Receive items, and now look. All of these bottles now have phantom water in them because they were fully empty, right? And like, look. See, now it's gone. Empty out your bottles before you start to refill them. See, all these thermoses have this phantom tick of water. we don't want to risk is going to cause the entire bottle to be negated from the water tank. So while we fill them, we're going to remove that tick of water. This next tip is just common sense. Don't leave your tap running when you're not using the water. Anybody that pays a water bill will know that this just wastes money. But your water is going to run out until that water filter is dead. Empty out the phantom water. You're going to fill it up until it's just before the top. So you see these ticks happening? That tick ended right before the top. If we'd let the extra tick go on, we would have lost amount of water because it would have only gone up that extra like 1 or 5%, or however much that is. The smaller water bottles, so like you saw, the thermos had 6 ticks of water. These blue water bottles will have 5. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. And the plastic water bottles have 4 ticks of water. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to make sure you're starting and stopping the water before it gets to the top to maximize everything that you can get out of it. And we're doing the same thing with these. We're getting this phantom tick of water out because we don't want to risk it ruining our entire bottle of water because of the back end registering it as like all jank. If you're starting out early wipe, you should collect any bottles of water that you can find within Raid. The other option would be leveling up Jiri or Hannah at the hospital as fast as possible to give you access to these so that you can eventually get your whole setup running on either just thermoses like I have or just canteens. It's just going to save you a little bit of time. If your water runs out, so if the filter runs out, make sure you turn the tap off first before you put a new filter in. Otherwise, when you do put that filter in, and I'll show you, I'll turn it back on. Once you put that filter in, it will start again. It's just going to start running and you'll start wasting water again. So make sure you have your water spigot turned off before you put the filter in. The other thing that you cannot do, if you think you can be tricky and like game the system, if you're like, oh, I'm going to turn on this faucet and I'm going to put both bottles underneath it. If you do that, it will not fill both bottles. It will only fill one, and then you are going to lose some water in the process. One bottle at a time. And then finally, this is something that it just kind of takes getting a feel for as you see how quickly the bottles fill. Because they go by these large ticks one at a time, right? And it's just getting a feel for the timing to try and stop as tightly on the top of that tick as you can so that you're not wasting more water that's falling out. Because if you stop it, we'll see if I actually miss it. If you stop it too early, you're going to miss an entire tick of water and then that's just gone. It didn't get added to the bottle. It's currently how the system works, is it fills in these large ticks at a time. It doesn't slowly fill the bar. I guess I'll force it to stop early so you can see. We've got tick, 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 and then I'm going to stop it just ahead. Even though that last tick was about to happen, I didn't get any of that water. So if that happens, it's not the end of the world. Just move on. Move on to your next bottle. And now I've got my backpacks full of water ready to refill my nursery at any time. I don't even know. If you follow these tips and you have other ones that you think that I missed that you think should be added to this list, please let me know. And before you know it, your garden will start to look like this in all of its glory. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end here. This type of video is a new format for me, and while it was a lot more work, I had a lot of fun putting it together. If you'd like to see more content like this, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If there are any gardening hacks that I missed, or if I pointed out something that helped you a lot, please tell me in the comments so we can chat about it and spread the word to everyone else. Until next time, stay frosty.
It's not what we thought.
Bonus tip. Always leave at least one water bottle up here in case you accidentally have your garden fully run out, so you can immediately dump it in. That will be enough time to get the rest of the process going again, refill any water bottles you don't have. Just leave one. It can be one of these tiny little plastic ones. That'll be plenty of time. Don't worry about it.